Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ready, Set, Collaborate podcast, episode 14. And I am so honored to have my girl, Reverend Jacqueline Lulu Brown, but I call her Lulu. So, we're gonna go by Lulu. I mean, we're gonna see where you got that Lulu name from. But I am so honored for you to be part of this podcast. But the best thing about it is, Lulu, when we met, uh, our book, collaboration book, Audacity to Shine with C. Nicole. And I love the title of how she created that Audacity to Shine and how she said God told her to call me. I'm sure she told you the same thing. God told her to call you. So,
Yes.
so she got
Yes.
10 of us ladies, but we'll talk about that later. But I want to actually read your bio because it's so much wealth of information that you have to share with us. And I want you to share with us more. So Jacqueline Brown spent 40 plus years in information technology and engineering arena with global responsibilities. Wow. One of the things that she discovered during her travels across the globe was that women in their careers, business and ministry, were feeling the heavy burden of silently carrying their unsaid and burnout. So true. These unsaid challenges and burnout statuses are often not openly discussed because of the secret shame and the fear of revealing one true self. Jacqueline's purpose and focus with her Revolution Ascension LLC business is to provide a safe, sacred space for open, honest, and raw conversation, allowing professional and executive women in leadership to explore their challenges, to reveal solutions and implementation plans for life. I love that. Jacqueline is a phenomenal disruptor, positive divide deviant, and radical change agent moving away from the status quo. So in March 2023, she launched her Divine Prosperous Living magazine under the Own It publishing company. When asked what she wants to be remembered for, she answers to lead every woman I encounter to have a bright, shining light that sings to their soul. She enjoys making this happen with her phenomenal retreats, Ascension Academy, one-on-one coaching, executive women's leadership, consulting, and training through her keynote speaking engagement. And also, she is a 4 times international bestseller co-author. And we talked about Audacity to Shine is one of the books that we met at here. So, and I asked Jacqueline, I said, well, her title, I want her to talk about as far as her journey. And we just discussed some of the journey here. Journey to be empowered to walk in your purpose. I love this, Jacqueline, Lulu. I'm gonna call you Lulu. Is that okay?
Oh, I prefer that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna call you Lulu. So Lulu, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm gonna ask you some questions about how you. Oh, it was just so much in her bio that I just had to kind of take bits and pieces. I mean, she's like a famous person, y'all, a famous lady. She has so much to share. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So thank you so much for having me today. I am truly honored to be here. And I'm honored, and it was just destiny that brought us together on Audacity to Shine. And let me just take a step back and kind of bring in how and what Audacity to Shine meant to me. It gave an opportunity for me to share my journey of when we live behind a mask. And very often people think that living behind a mask is just bad things. But we also hide our brilliance, our genius, our gifting. We hide that behind a mask as well, because sometimes we're made to feel that we don't deserve for the world to really see who we are in our gifting. And a lot of times we hold that back. And there are these gems, jewels, diamonds, not diamond in the rough, but real brilliant diamonds that are in us. And very often that is behind a mask because we don't have the audacity to shine.
Mhm, mhm,
The Audacity to Shine book with C. Nicole gave me an opportunity to share my journey and how did I go from where I was not being authentically me
mhm,
and conforming to what others tell you that you need to do or you need to be or you need to act a certain way. And a lot of times people will say, well, I'm authentic. but they're really not, because they don't really understand what authenticity is. And it was that journey that allowed me to bring what is in the core and the essence of me. And I was able to bring that forward and operate in that, but yet be successful because I no longer conformed to the standards that this world tells you. There's a system that sort of maps things out, and we've been indoctrinated with those things from the time we come out of our mother's wombs. I mean, when we're little, we are given things to give us and mold us in a particular way. We are told things, things are spoken to us. And if we really examine what it's like as a child, we have to really peel back those layers and say, was I really taught how to search and get an understanding of what's unique about me? How am I going to know my purpose if I don't know who I am? And am I regurgitating what other people say because it sounds good and it makes me look successful and it puts me in this category with, I know who I am, I'm not in a box, I'm authentic? Or because I have a level of success, I make a particular salary, my square footage of my home is within what the world deems as successful. All of these different things. Have I really stepped outside of all of that? And have I tapped into what is so unique about me that it makes me limitless? And people don't realize that even the cliches we've been taught impose those limits. We're told the sky is the limit. The minute someone says the is the limit, there's a limitation. You've just spoken a limitation on yourself. And people will say, well, why can't I say that? I know what I mean. You know what you mean, but the universe knows what you mean as well. God knows what you mean, because out of the abundance of the heart, so speaketh the man, the woman. And so when we say these things and they're going into the atmosphere, we have to really understand, do you really know what you're saying? Because there really are no limits except the ones we set for ourselves. But we have to be, we have to have the audacity to let those things come out. And so that chapter was so special to me because it gave me an opportunity to share my journey. It gave me an opportunity to actually talk about how the church itself and religion was part of what prevented me from shining, from walking in my purpose. As we're talking here, sometimes what we think is good can sometimes be holding us back. And that's not denigration on church or anything. It's speaking to the level of, I'm going to say, where people and leaders have not come into enlightenment. It speaks to not being fully enlightened on who we are, whose we are, and what our true purpose is here, and how do we operate in that purpose from a limitless place. And that was really the I'm going to say the nuts and bolts of my chapter. And I remember the editor sending me a note, and she said, wow, you're really going in deep here. You're making some comments about your journey that people may become offended. And I said, you know what? I think that's a good thing, because maybe they'll become enlightened and they'll do something about it. And maybe another woman won't have to wait and go through what I did to know that she has the audacity to shine.
And that's what I love about the title that C. Nicole picked, Audacity to Shine, because from that, I derive yeah, because I mentor too, middle school girls, and I
Hmm.
always tell them, you have the audacity to shine. But I
Yes.
derived my own book from that book. I say, if it hadn't been for C. Nicole to tell me, to say, I want you to be part of this, I don't know if I would have wrote a book, because that's something that I said, I would never write a book. And God said, oh, yes, you will. So that derived from my book, God's Grace Through the Fire, but also my second collaboration book, Impact of One Voice, where you said, Lulu, that you dug into, because I actually told the truth about what I dealt with as far as the fear, the abuse, that I didn't think when somebody tell me you're not going to be nothing,
Hmm.
that I am something now, but I didn't believe it at that time. So this was something that we actually, I think, helped a lot of women and men
Hmm.
to be able to help them. And the book, my book, I have a journey in there, a journal. I'm sorry, journal, that I want them to go to, not go through what we went through and the
Hmm.
fear of speaking up, because a lot of time, I mean, I grew up in Chicago. You're seen and not heard, right? I don't know if you probably heard that, right? So
Hmm.
that is something that we really need to help other people with. But I want to ask you some questions here, and that was great. You actually answered a lot of my questions already. So So how did you maintain that consistent voice and a style throughout the book, despite multiple authors?
Wow. It was asking one question every time I had to write, change, rewrite.
Mm-hmm,
Am I being true to myself?
mm-hmm,
And it was asking that question over and over and over again. Are you being true to yourself?
mm-hmm.
Are you willing to reveal what needed to be healed?
Yep.
And are you doing that? And I
Mm-hmm.
would look, did you put in there what you needed to be healed from? Because there's a root to everything. So
Yep.
did you go to the root? Did you reveal the root? And then did you reveal your willingness to come forward and to heal from it? And so
Mm-hmm.
asking that same question is what I found that worked for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have partners. We partnered up with some of the other authors, and I know Stacy.
Yes.
I'm hoping I get Stacy on here too.
Hmm.
Uh, what I actually wrote about, because I tell you, it was hurt. Things you bury deep down inside. You don't. I didn't remember a lot of things until I started writing this book. But
Yes.
I had forgiveness.
Hmm.
Forgiveness is what I had. I had to forgive myself first, and forgive, my the abuse that I had.
Hmm.
And that was really tough, because even like writing my book, it's like it came back up all over again. And I said, okay, so having that, and that was actually my benefits from writing this collaboration book. So let me
Hmm.
ask you another question.
Hmm.
What were the benefits of collaborating on this book compared to writing this solo?
Oh, sisterhood, first and foremost,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it was okay for me to reveal the portions of my life that I wasn't okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That level of freedom, the being with other women that also had the courage to name and pursue their
Mm-hmm.
most authentic aspirations.
Yeah.
And because that's a big part of what I do in my business is helping women to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I also love the fact that I had cohorts that were willing to say or share their story
Mm-hmm.
on how they achieved freedom,
Yeah.
the discernment to know that I deserve a greater integrated life. And I need to step into that uniqueness so that I can fulfill my unique purpose on the
Mm-hmm.
planet, because we have unique purposes that we personally are here to fulfill on this planet. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's the sisterhood that brings that together
Yeah.
and brings the freedom to express that with one another
Mm-hmm.
and be on those calls that we're
Mm-hmm.
on with
Mm-hmm.
C. Nicole. It
Yeah.
was that and the things that went on behind the scenes, whether it was emails or
Yeah.
things like that. It was that part of it that in the opportunity that there's a lot that goes into writing a book on your own.
I
I've
know.
been in I've been in 4 anthologies, and I can tell you that I I I enjoy the ability to be able to do this with other women, because my personality is air,
Yeah.
water, but air and water.
Yeah.
And I just love the camaraderie that we have.
Yeah. I guess you say your personality, and actually, I didn't realize mine is fire. So, you
Oh,
know,
nice.
that's why God's break through
Nice.
the fire from the struggles that I actually went through trying.
Yes.
I got to today. So no, that is so that is great to hear. Now, let me ask you something. What was the title of your chapter when you chose it? Why did you choose this title of your chapter?
God knows the mask that we hide behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose that title because we think that we're hiding things from each other, but
Mm-hmm.
we're not hiding it from God. And He knows the hurt, He knows the pain, He knows what we need to be delivered from,
Mm-hmm.
He knows what needs to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that He's waiting for is for us to ask Him, because He's not someone that comes in uninvited.
Yeah. Yeah.
God is not a trespasser.
Yeah.
And He's just waiting for us to humble ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
say, I need you. I can't get beyond this without you. And I'm willing to go to the place that I need to go in Him to
Mm-hmm.
get healed.
That's so true. And you really put it in a nutshell of that. So let me ask you something, and I want you to tell me a little about your business too. But what advice would you give others considering a book collaboration? In fact, this series is called The Art of Book Collaboration. This is my second series that I'm actually putting on here. But what advice would you give others that are considering the book collaboration? You've done four. So what advice would you give them?
Oh, wow. Well, let me say, answer it this way. I would do 4 more.
Okay.
I would. I
Okay.
really would. And that is because when you have the personality of sharing and wanting to give and wanting to learn as well as teach.
Mm-hmm.
I love to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I love to teach, but I never want to be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
It's being in the room with other people that are smarter, because some people are smart. We don't want to admit that. Oh, I'm smart. They may be smart ass, but they're not smarter. Okay, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
You have never met anyone that's smarter than you.
Right.
I tend to put myself in the presence of people that I know are smarter than me. And
Yeah.
it's okay, because it means that they have a level of knowledge that
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And
That's right.
there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
So that's why I do 4 more to have that opportunity.
That's good. That's awesome. And I always say, and that's why I named this Ready, Set, Collaborate. I've always said that collaboration and connections is the key to success.
It
So
is.
having other people, other women, other men to connect with one another and to collaborate, because like you said, we're not all smart. We don't know
Mhm.
everything. There's other
Right.
people that may know this part of something, another person may know this part of something, and that's really what it all, what it's all about. So tell us about and my time is getting, tell us a little bit about your business, and then I want you to tell us the future. What are your future plans for your business?
Oh, okay. The best way is to say what drives me, because what drives me is exactly that's exactly what my business is. And what drives me is to have an opportunity. And I primarily work with, and you stated this with the bio, I primarily work with professional women.
Mhm.
And it provides me an opportunity to reduce organizational suffering. And
Mhm.
that's their suffering as well as what takes place,
Mhm.
and to equip people to remove corporate burnout, to
Mhm.
really understand what authenticity is, to really understand what diversity is,
Mhm.
because these are words that are thrown out, and objectives that have the checklist,
Yeah.
but when implemented appropriately, it's what helps people to soar, thereby, whether it's an organization or a corporation or their own business, that is going to soar.
Mhm.
And all of that happens simply because I help women live with more purpose, more grace, more joy, more peace,
Mhm.
flow, and ease. And I've had that's part of my tagline. And I've had people ask me, well, what is that? Well, what
Yeah.
is flow? Flow is the opposite of you grinding 24/7,
Yeah.
everything being so hard,
Mhm.
because we don't have to grind. I hear people say, I grind hard.
Mhm.
No, I don't want to grind hard. I want to flow. And
Yeah.
everything is not going to always be easy,
Yeah.
but we should be able to find a portion of peace within that, that
Mhm.
as we're going through it, we're not coming up with every disease known to man, because disease is the root of those diseases
Mm.
and the burnout. And so being able to focus on women in leadership
Mhm.
and really believing, because this is a core, I'm going to say, tenet for my company, is believing that we are in a new era of women's leadership.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it calls for us to step fully into our, as I say, positive deviant
Mhm.
change maker
Mhm.
role. And when we can do that, everyone wins. It's a win-win. This
Mhm.
is not about women empowering and taking and bashing men, or forget about men, or neglecting families, or being burnt out all the time because we're on this hamster wheel of success.
Mhm.
But it's being a positive deviant and a change maker because you're willing to require yourself a greater level of self-care.
Oh.
You're willing to reveal what needs to be healed on the inside.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you have the courage to pursue your aspirations, no
Mhm.
matter what.
Mhm.
And that's really a big sum of what we do. We teach a lot of divine feminine leadership. And divine feminine leadership is simply those qualities: empathy,
Mhm.
nurturing, the things that women were told to leave at home. They don't have any place in the workplace.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes us great leaders. That's what gives us the ability
Yes.
to be people leaders that develop other leaders, and that
Absolutely.
bring people along and help people progress as organizations, as ministries, as businesses, so that we're doing this collectively versus we're in a bubble and we're into this, go pick somebody's book up and
Yeah.
read that. Well, I
Yeah.
want to know how uh, the Rockefellers did it.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
might be able to learn something from the Rockefellers.
Yeah.
They made some savvy business moves,
Mhm.
but what is it about you that can give you the same level of success if you knew how to tap into it? So I asked women, what if I could show you how to do that?
Mhm.
What if I could show you how to be as brilliant as anybody else?
Mhm.
Find your genius zone. What if I told you I could help you find your genius zone? Because I found mine. I thought I knew it, but
Yeah.
I found mine. And when I found mine, I literally have like the proof
Mhm.
that I soared leaps and bounds far beyond my imagination.
Wow. And that's why your title, because you said it all, is Our Journey to Be Empowered to Walk in Your Purpose. I truly appreciate you, Jackie, for I'm sorry, Jack. Lulu. I'm going to call you Jacqueline.
That's
Lulu.
okay. That's all right.
I truly appreciate, because you have just gave a wealth of knowledge, and I encourage our audience to really reach out to Lulu. But tell us how we can contact you.
Okay, you can contact me by, and I made it really easy because my my email was kind of long. It was JacquelineLulu@revolutionascension.com. So
Okay.
now I said, you know what, I need to shorten this. So it's JLB,
Jake.
Jacqueline Lulu Brown, JLB@revolutionascension.com.
Okay.
And they can go to my website, which is revolutionascension.com.
Mhm.
And they can just go and you can read a lot. And I encourage people on my website, when you scroll down into the description, go to the description, because I think if you're going to work with someone or if you're going to participate in something that someone is hosting or sponsoring, you should know something about them. And
Mhm.
I have 5 things
Mhm.
that people should know about me.
Okay.
Go to the website, look at those 5 things. It will drive you to click on that button and schedule that free consult with me. You don't even have to email me if you don't want. You can just read those 5 things and say, yep,
Yeah.
I want to talk to her, and click on that button on my website, and it will take you directly to schedule a free consult with me.
Awesome. Awesome. And tell us what that website is. JLB.
The email is jlb@revolutionascension.com. The
Okay.
website is www.revolutionascension.com.
Revolution. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, my dear. I really enjoyed this conversation
Thank you.
with you and one of my fellow book collaboration. And I tell you,
Yes.
Lulu came to my book signing for my book. And
Yes.
and I just really enjoyed you and your husband, being there. So
Thank you.
thank you for your support. So
Thank you.
thank you. So stay tuned for episode 15. I was trying to see what episode we're on. This is episode 14. Episode 15 for Ready, Set, Collaborate, where we would definitely give you some more insight and experience and expertise from other entrepreneurs that can help you. Book collaboration, networking collaboration, all of those. But thank you. So thank you again, Jackie, for all of your
Thank you.
wisdom that you have shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you.